Well, guys, it's that time of year again. MFJJ here doing the bow of the year. Every year I get a pile of bows, and it's a super exciting time for me because I love to figure out what new features and new changes they've made to each and every little bow. Just before you want to go and be, I'm all biased and blah, 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 we've got an old friend here to let him pick the bow. Y'all know him. Y'all miss him. The ladies are pissed. Jake Webb. Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here with PodiumArcher.com, attempting to up our sex appeal. Enter Jake Webb. We are doing the bow of the year for 2025 on the longer axle-to-axle bows. And what the parameters of that are is 32 to 34-inch axle-to-axle bows, i.e. Western bow hunting bows. That doesn't mean you can't use it in the east and only in the west. It doesn't mean you must use it on the ground and not in a tree stand. It's just the size parameter. We will be doing 4 different bows of the year, this one being first. Jake got an adult job, makes lots of money, and he's got an OnlyFans. It's listed down below.
I don't have an OnlyFans. You can send me money if you want.
Do we need to do what do they call that?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. Do you need to GoFundMe?
You can send me money. I'll spend it on hunting stuff.
So how we're going to do this is we're just going to go through all the bows that we carry, just period across the board in that range. They're what we figured was their #1 bow to pick from. Jake's going to shoot 3 arrows out of each one, and then we're going to get rid of one. I'm going to talk a little bit about the bows. Jake's going to talk about what he feels and experiences until we can pick one. And that'll be the bow of the year, and everybody will comment that somebody paid lots of money for the outcome of this video. You'll never know. Let's go.
I'm going to try like my best to be unbiased as possible. So a couple things. So like axle matters. The shootability of the bow matters. I kind of have a short face, so like the string when it comes on my face matters to me, but the grip, like everybody has their parameters for shooting. I mean, everybody's I like my face. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah? Sorry.
Is it? Is it?
Short face. It's an AX33 from Hoyt. This is their aluminum riser bow. Big changes from Hoyt. They shortened the bow, they shortened the limb. New much more aggressive cam, which increased their speed, made them about the fastest flagship bows out there. There are some faster ones. Don't bash on me in the comments for that statement. Little wider limb set on the pocket. A lot more meat taken out of the riser, and ended up from their traditional 30, like they do a 30 and a 33 or a 31 and a 34. Now they're a 29.5 and a 32, and it's all pretty much limb. The riser's got long, good stability. Overall, real good bow. Lacks in the tunability department with your ability to easily manipulate wheeling, but outside of that, they're real solid. Been our second best-selling bow of the year. Picatinny front, IMS rear, all kinds of really awesome integration options for it. There's just nothing to complain about those bows. They're doing really good. And of course, you know, Joe Rogan and Cam Henn said it's the best bow, so why wouldn't it be? First initial thoughts.
So the draw cycle I like. But the one thing I will notice, there's like 0 vibration out of that bow.
Yeah, it's really dead.
Like it's dead in the hand.
So on the next one, actually physically grip it, just so you can try to pick up on it. So what is your adult job now, Jake?
I manage the welding department at a construction company.
You got mad welding skills too, from what I understand.
I've been welding since I was 17.
I don't know how many of you are aware of this or whatnot. Probably some and most. Jake got married recently. He actually got married at my house.
I like it. This one's still, we can keep this one.
Well, we're keeping all of them. Until you've shot all of them, and then you're getting rid of one.
Okay.
All right, so this bow is a carbon aluminum hybrid, more aluminum than carbon, however, making and coming in at the same weight as most of your carbon bows. It's very unique in the marketplace. It's very rigid. It's like 8,000 pound braking strength, which none of the bows do that, which is pretty incredible. But it is. It also still feels just like their primes. It does have the thermal grip on it, so you won't feel that cold through there, which does functionally work. But the idea of this bow, Jake, was that they were going to take all the parts that you had to bolt things onto and keep that as one piece still, with the exception of the quiver. So you'll notice your sight, your pick mount, your IMS mount, your rest position, your stabilizer is all one piece of metal steel.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem with carbon, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to get the aluminum pieces to integrate into the carbon so you can still bolt things on and it doesn't turn out hokey.
Yeah.
So I'm actually, there's a dude on TikTok actually that said I was bashing all over this bow, or Brandon and I were bashing all over.
I thought that was banned. I thought TikTok was banned.
Yeah, for like 14 hours, and then Trump said, TikTok's great. We're bringing it back. It's going to be better than ever. It's going to be huge. It's already huge. Give me a break. But anyway, he was saying something about I was bashing on the bow. I'm actually very impressed with this bow. And I'm more impressed with the fact that somebody took a different path to make a bow.
Yeah, like the last 20% of that draw cycle is really smooth.
Yeah. Now the thing that really impressed me with that bow, because obviously we've gone through and tested all of them and put all kinds of numeric equations against them, right? That bow is not any louder than the aluminum version of it.
I mean, you can feel a little bit of vibration. I mean, just apples to apples, I've only shot 2 bows. You can feel a little bit, but the draw cycle of this is smooth.
I don't think there's a smoother drawn bow, personally. You can set a Bowtech in comfort and maybe. All right.
The draw cycle, I like. The grip, like, I don't know if I love the grip. I don't think it's bad. To me, it's like the thumb right here, like that typical, like, just pushing on the thumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have kind of big thumbs, but the vibration for having this carbon
You got a small face and big thumbs.
Dude, look at those things.
It looks like you hit it with a hammer. All right, so we're on PSE Mach 33 Carbon. This bow is actually really impressive to me. If I was ever to shoot a PSE, it would probably be this bow over the years. Sub 4 or right at 4, if I remember right, or 4.1. It's been published like 4 different times different, so I'm not even sure what they're calling it for weight.
Yeah.
It's reasonably fast, but a super smooth drawing cam. Shim adjustable, but they're pop in, pop out pieces. Much Prime does the same thing on their tuning. You can pop the clip in and out.
Yep.
And so it's a little easier to move it than like a standard spacer. It doesn't take as long, but it's still a crude amount of spacer adjustment. It's not finite. Fixed rigid roller guard. And fast, like I said, fast and light. And relatively dead.
Drill and tap here in the
That's
handle.
so
Is
you
that
can-
for side plates?
They make a little grip that's got a little extra edge here on the sides.
Interesting.
Feel a little different in your hand when you drew it back. Feel that edge?
Yeah, it doesn't feel bad.
No, that's very similar to a target style grip, and that is really my preference because my hand consistency on there's better than ever, right?
Yeah, that draw cycle all the way through is really nice.
There's three cam options you can get on here. That's the stock cam. The other ones I think you can put on in a pro shop, but that is the easiest drawing cam they've made. The EC2 is really, really, really easy drawing. All right, what are your thoughts?
The vibration isn't bad. Like, you can feel a little bit there, but that draw cycle, there's not like a weird hump and it comes back. It's just like consistent all the way through, which I kind of like.
All right, this is your Bowtech Proven 34. These come with 2 different cam sizes. Smaller cam on this one. This peaks at 30, so it'll be a little more efficient. They also make this in like a long draw configuration, but it is basically an SS34 reboot. Some changes to it. Overall, good bow. I actually had built this bow and went hunting in Texas. My first Texas trip this year with that bow. Killed a 8-point buck. Worked really good. A little on the heavy side. If you don't care about physical weight, might not matter to you. But overall, I think it's a good feeling bow. But send a couple arrows to it. See what you think.
See, that's got a hard wall.
It's in performance, so it's actually really fast. I think in this position. All that really matters is what you think at the end of the day, right? So if you feel like it has more vibration, then you feel.
Tell my
it.
wife that.
Yeah.
It's not me. Tell my wife that.
That is an elite.
The whole riser's carbon?
Yeah, Carbon Eon. It's got their tunability features in here. Changed the limb pocket assembly out. Put in pick mount stuff, so they have a whole bunch of different accessories that go on here, much like Mathews does, right? They make a sling. They make a bipod. They make gosh, like 2 other things that they make. Little rope assemblies. They changed the cam from the previous model, so it also has a split Y yoke system for, once again, better lateral support. Roller guard adjustments. And I want to say they're $15.99 or $16.99, somewhere in there. First thoughts.
That's pretty dead. There's not a lot of vibration there, but this grip, this reminds me of like my old Bowtech. Like, that feels good.
Yeah, they have a great grip.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, that's interesting to me. Like, that feels good in the hand. I like the way that it shoots.
Yep.
I don't know if I love the way it looks.
What's different and interesting about this bow is, one, they did integrate the rest options, and you can put a Hamskea or an IMX. It's a lateral system, so it's got yoke on either side. But what they did to this bow, which is really freaking unique, is this is a timing piece. So you can adjust your timing of your cables here. You can turn it a 1/16 of a turn if you want. So it's a really finite adjustment. Easy to time your bow, which if you ever tried to effectively time like a Mathews, for example, it's really hard. It's a simple, easy solution here. And this right here, instead of manipulating back here for your wheel lean, it's actually moving here. So you tighten this up, it pushes on that limb and not that limb, and changes your wheel lean.
Oh, interesting.
So, and it does 100% work. But my hat's off to Darton because they have well, first of all, Darton has a crap ton of patents. Like, you'd be amazed if you start digging into it. How many of the modern technologies that are used in a bow today were patented by Darton originally? But they're usually figuring out a way around the box, just a different plan. So I commend them for that. And their consequence too, for I think it's $750 or something like that. There is not a nicer bow made for $750. It's phenomenal. So, but anyway, just shoot a little bit. Tell me what you think. So that's usually a reflection of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got some vibration to it.
A little bit. Well, give it a good squeeze when you fire it this time because it really helps you feel it. Height difference. All right, almost done. So somehow Hoyt made 2 bows into this thing. I told the guys to just grab me one of everything within the dimension from each brand, but Hoyt does make a carbon bow and an aluminum bow, so it's fair to be able to test both of them. Differences between the carbon and the aluminum, obviously physical weight. This is actually a different spec bow, okay? This is a 34-inch bow, if I remember right, or 33, somewhere around there. So they're not the same length. This is slightly longer. And this bow is very intriguing to me, to be honest. I will give this bow a real authentic chance to be my bow to shoot this year. But they're still really lacking tuning features. Please, please, please work on your tuning features, Hoyt. They're always good shooting bows. They usually feel real good. And they are quite fast this year, where before they were a little slower. So when you're trying to tune your bow right and trying to get your left to right, instead of going, okay, let's move both of these over one, you're going to be like, just move that one and hope it's not too much kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Man. I love coffee.
For a carbon bow, there's not a lot of vibration. I like the way that shoots. The draw cycle, I don't know if I love.
Well, but with Hoyt this year, they went to a much more aggressive cam. So last year they were a little slower than Mathews barely and Bowtech, right? So I think they decided we need to make our bow faster, so they went to a much more aggressive cam set. And they definitely got faster. It's not as fast as a Core SR from last year, but all the bows I tested, like the standard RX-9, was the fastest bow I tested.
Yeah, I like the way it shoots.
Last on our list is the Lift X33 6-axis machined riser. So they have cut every bit of metal you can possibly remove from this bow. They did change the riser in here this year from last year, because this is basically the same riser as last year, other than they cut more meat out of here so your knuckle doesn't get all jacked up in there. Which, thank you. I've disliked shooting a Mathews bow for years because of that, because it would always take the skin off my knuckle right there whenever I shot it. But the big thing and the big change is the tunability feature here. By removing that screw and twisting this drive in here, you're actually moving the limb in or out slightly, small amounts, and that manipulates the wheeling. So that's how they're getting around the Bowtech patent for that same sort of feature of moving your cam left to right. The cam doesn't actually move left to right. It stays put, and the limb comes in and out a little bit. So that gives you a little bit of wheeling manipulation, and it's more than enough to tune a bow completely left or completely right without ever touching your bow. Yeah, it solves that problem. And you can still put side plates on here and all that stuff if you want to go to that. They also came out with 3 different grip options this year. And when we were in Texas like 2 weeks ago, it was getting down to freezing. The first hour or two of the day, the riser was super cold, but I couldn't feel it.
So this cam design is pretty similar from last year.
Identical.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, same cam. Doesn't mean it's not worth it, doesn't mean it's not a drastic improvement, but they also only changed the price of their bow $50. All right, Jake, are you ready for the first one to leave the island? The Elite Carbon Eon has left the island.
It's just weird to me.
Bye-bye! The Mach 33, the Prime, 2-gram map. It's like butter. Like this. These are all just different. Just takes take more of a permanent, not intended to be through everything. It probably wouldn't cost that much. I guarantee you there's at least 2 bows here that you know you don't want. All right, so I would pull 2, and I would make you pick one of the 2 Hoyts.
The 2 I would pick would be the Darton and the Bowtech.
That's what I kind of figured from this. So now what I would do as a third caveat is get rid of one of the Hoyts. Because there's no way you're going to end up with both of them. You want to shoot them back and forth?
Yeah, let me shoot an arrow out of each one.
Okay.
Just
double elimination.
I'd get rid of this one.
Okay.
And the only reason, that one feels just as dead in the hand to me.
Yeah.
But one of my things is I don't want something super heavy carrying around in the woods.
If we're down to 4, we could probably do them in chronograph at this point.
Me, if I have to keep 3, I'm keeping the PSE, the Mathews, and the Hoyt.
Because, I mean, if we chrono these things, that prime is going to be way slower.
If they have a patent with the carbon, aluminum, like, all that stuff is cool. It looks a little funky to me.
Yes.
But anytime when you have a riser and you're, like, putting pieces together like that, like, that makes me nervous.
I don't blame you. I mean,
I'm rough on stuff.
I personally wholeheartedly believe it's going to be solid and it's going to work and it's not going to be an issue. But I can understand being nervous about it, right? Because it's a new thing. Anytime you get some brand new thing in the world that looks completely different, that's put together in a different way, it's something to be somewhat cautious about. Yeah. But I have confidence. I don't think there's going to be any problems with that. So, bow talk, I think it's a pretty good bow. So I'll have you shoot, I'd probably just shoot 2. We don't want to shoot this one with missing a vein because it's going to give you a weird number.
Yeah.
So I'll line you up. Okay. There you go. Okay, 278, 277. So we're going to go with, we're going to go with 280. So once again, that's a 279, 78. So 278. So 2 feet slower. 284, 285. Oh. 288, 286. So that is a 284, 285, 286. That's a 286 average. So that is 6 feet a second faster than the PSE and 8 feet a second faster than the Hoyt.
That PSE can go.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I guess we go down to the final. Just keep shooting one arrow back and forth until you pick one.
I don't know. That's close. I'll take one of each. I like a bow.
Oh, now that right there, folks, is the answer I was looking for. Doubles. Woo! In all fairness, these have been the 2 most popular bows we've had this year, so it doesn't surprise me that we ended up here. But let's be fair here. They're all really good. They really are. I don't think bows have been closer to each other in history until now. Like, they're really, really, really similar. There's not a wrong answer here.
Yeah, this grip definitely is better than that other grip.
Shoot it again, see what you think. That was the one I liked the best out of the 3. I'm trying to remember if that's the contour, I think they called it. I don't remember though exactly. I'd have to go down and look. Now, and in all fairness, if he disliked this grip, I know it had another option, I'd let him try that too.
At the end of the day, we're using these like to bow hunt. So like apples to apples.
Yeah.
This bow is shooting faster.
Yep.
It's quieter.
Yep.
It's $700 cheaper.
Yep.
And it's more tunable.
Yep.
So like if you're just putting things on the list and you're comparing these, like this is the better bow. At the end of the day though, like that's still a good bow.
Oh yeah,
100%.
100%.
It's good, but it's not tunable up here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of loud.
Mm-hmm.
And $700, like I can buy a lot of stuff $700.
So the conclusion of this for you is that's the better bow.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are gonna hate that, but
Here you go.
did I win? Yes! Yes!
For all you people that think I'm getting bought.
Oh, you gotta give that back.
Yeah, that's nice.
Damn it!
Bow of the year, Jake the Webb, Lift X33. Good to see you back, Jake. I know we've been in contact a lot, but he's been away from the camera. And I was like, hey, do you want to come do this? I need somebody to do it. And we will have 3 other of these based off of the different parameters of choices. I am not making these decisions. I'm going to let somebody else do it, so you can't blame it on me. Deal with it.
It's nice.
I'm out.